And the people that can best articulate what they need are the people that want, here in the university environment, that want these machines, that want to do things with them. So I think we've done an awful lot of listening in the last 6 months, and are basing our plans on what they've told us.
Well, we think profitability is very, very important. What I said was that we examined the future product roadmap, not the products that are shipping today, the future ones that we were working on. And what we found was that 30% of them were incredibly good. And about 70% of them were either pretty good or things that we didn't really need to be doing, businesses we really didn't need to be in. And so we've pared a lot of that back so we could focus the same amount of original resource even more on what was remaining and add a few new things in. So the resources that we're investing are equal or greater than we have been, but it's on fewer things, so we're going to do a better job at them, I think. There are not going to be any corporate massive layoffs. What we're doing is we have, I think, a pretty clear direction now, and each group is looking at the work plans to do what they need to do to accomplish the pieces of that they have to do. And we are reorganizing some things a little bit differently, combining things in a few different ways. And in some cases, when the music stops, there'll be some people that don't have a chair. But that'll be on a department by department basis. It'll be, a fairly low-key thing. We're not talking about any massive layoffs. Well, again, we don't predict, but what I will say is two things. Number one, Apple's trading at around 1/3 times its sales right now. Many of Apple's competitors are trading at 2 to 5 times their sales. So that's just one observation. You can draw whatever conclusions you want. And the second thing I would say is that somebody taught me a long time ago a very valuable lesson, which is if you do the right things on the top line, the bottom line will follow. And what they meant by that was if you get the right strategy, if you have the right people, and if you have the right culture at your company, you'll do the right products, you'll do the right marketing, you'll do the right things logistically and in manufacturing and distribution. And if you do all those things right, the bottom line will follow. So yes, we have obviously plans about where we'd like to see the bottom line, but we are focusing most of our energy not on financial re-engineering, because that's not what's been troubled at Apple. We're focusing our energy on the right product strategies, the right market strategies, the right communication strategies, the right logistics and distribution strategies. And the team is making, I think, very strong strides in these areas. And you'll start to see some of this stuff appear in the next 90, 120 days. So I'm actually really happy about this. I sold my stock before I got the call from the board that they wanted me to come in and shepherd Apple for this period. And that was unfortunate. I wish the call had come a week earlier, but I wasn't a mind reader, so I didn't know. And in terms of my own, personal financial stuff, I usually don't discuss that with people except my family. I'm working pretty hard, and so there are a lot of people, but I'm one of them. My car's there pretty early, and it's in the parking lot pretty late, and on weekends. So, and I value my family time a lot, so I'm pretty committed to this. And seeing Apple turn around the company, I started the company with Steve Wozniak in my parents' garage, 20 years ago, and over 22 years ago. And so there's a definite place in my heart for this. I'm drawing a salary of, I think, $1 per year. So I hope I'm not burdening the shareholders too much, and I very much want to see Apple get turned around, and I think it's gonna.
Well, we all use Macs at Apple. We love the Mac. And so we're steadily trying to improve things, as everybody in our industry is. And we think we make the best notebooks in the world. We think we make the best desktops in the world. And our share of notebooks is ahead of the industry. We're about 2/3 notebooks, 1/3 desktops, and the industry is about 40% or so notebooks. And we've always been a little ahead there. And I can see a time when notebooks are even going to be 80, 90% of what we sell. We're also always improving our operating system. Generally, we have a release every 18 months or so. And we had a really big release about 18 months ago that we didn't get much credit for, but it was actually Mac OS X Tiger, which is our current release, on Intel. Because we switched the whole product line to Intel processors. And that's for anyone that's ever tried to do anything like that, that's a huge thing to do. And we did it really well, I think. It was very seamless for the customers, and so that worked very well. And the growth that we've seen over the last several quarters, really since we got through that Intel transition, has been about 3 times the market growth rate.
This is going to sound like a funny question, but there are people, when you change your name to Apple Inc. and you announced that you were doing the iPhone in addition, of course, to the iPod and the Apple TV, there are people who said, well, this is your gradual exit out of the computer business, the personal computer business. Right? Do you remain committed to the personal computer business?
Oh yeah, totally. Totally. I mean, as an example, if you come to our Worldwide Developer Conference, which is a week from this coming Monday, we'll have the largest attendance we've ever had there, and we're rolling out the next generation of our operating system, Leopard, which will ship in October. No, it's massive investments we're making in that business. We love it.
Okay. We haven't seen a big change in the iPod. If we put iPhone aside, you did identify it as a separate business. I know there's an iPod in the iPhone, but for a while, are you planning some big new iPod model or iPod platform or change?
So a while means since last September.
Since last September,
Yes,
right?
It's a fast-moving business.
Right.
Yeah, we generally don't talk.
Yeah, but last September you didn't do a whole. It wasn't like you introduced the Nano last September or something like that.
New Nano.
A new Nano, I understand, but I mean, not a whole new model of the iPod.
Okay.
Okay, so
It sure felt like that with all the work that went into it, but I'll concede to that. So
I wasn't taking your feelings into account. I was just looking at the, you know.
So, as we look forward, all I should really say is that we're working on the best iPods that we've ever worked on, and they're awesome. And I can't wait till they're done.
Okay, all right. Moving right along. What phone are you carrying? You have a phone with you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You want to show it? You want to
Sure.
wave it around?
Just a little thing here. Best iPod we've ever made, by the way.
That's the best iPod you've
Best
ever
iPod we've ever made. Best phone we've ever made, too.
made. Yeah, that's great. Are you still on track to ship that
Yeah.
when?
Late June.
Late June.
Yeah.
That means like the very last day of June, or what does that mean?
Yeah. No, I would say in the latter part of June.
The latter part of June. Okay, and it'll be available in volume. It's
Sure hope so.
yeah, and well, you and other companies have sometimes shipped products, and the
I know.
volume wasn't there right at the beginning. So I'm
I think we'll ship a lot of them. Will it be enough? I don't know. I hope not.
okay. And do you expect to sell most of these at your own stores or through Singular, or do you have?
We're going to be selling these in our own stores and through Singular, which is now the new AT&T.
Yeah, thanks.
And
just like the old AT&T.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and they've got
You're a lot nicer to cell phone companies than you were last time you were on the stage here.
it's really interesting.
I don't know what the
we've
deal.
gotten to know some of the players, and we haven't sold a phone yet, but Singular's been really great with us, I have to say.
By leaving you alone, basically.
No, actually not by leaving us alone. They did a deal with us. We did a pretty different kind of deal than they'd ever done before. And it bent a lot of it bent or broke a lot of their rules. They'd never done anything like this. And they did it with us without ever seeing the phone. We wouldn't show it to them. And
So that's what we call due diligence? I mean,
no, you know what it was? It's like, and we kind of did this in return because we don't know much about how they work either. If you talk to great venture capitalists, they'll tell you that they invest in people, not ideas. Even if the ideas are great, they're really investing in the people. And I think Singular invested in us. They took a gamble on us. And likewise, we took a gamble on them. And so I will never forget that. People have not voted with their pocketbooks to sign up for video on their phones. It hasn't really worked. So they've got a lot of bandwidth, but these phones are not capable of taking advantage of it because their internet experience is so poor. You've used the internet, or you've tried to use the internet on your phone, and it's terrible. They have lousy browsers. I mean, you don't get the internet. You get the baby internet or the mobile internet or something bizarre. And what people want is the real internet on their phone. And they believe that we could deliver that. And we are going to deliver that. And so we're going to be able to take advantage of some of the investments they're making in this bandwidth, I think, in an entirely new way. Well, again, a billion units is the worldwide number. The US number is obviously a lot less than that, so since we'll be selling primarily in the US and to some extent in Europe by then, it's a little bit bigger than 1%, but we're newcomers. People have forgotten more than we know about this.
Okay. Any features of the iPhone that you haven't announced that you would like to share with us here today?
No. Sorry.